Okay guys, on this video, I'm actually going to focus more on synthetic division, and maybe the last problem I'll do long division one more time. But I'm a real big fan of synthetic, which you should be good fans of as well the more you practice it. That's the key thing. You got to practice it. And another name for it again is synthetic substitution. But anyways, on number 19, instead of rewriting the whole thing, you see, I'm just going to take my 1 for b cubed, my 3 for b squared, my minus 23 for the b, minus 38. Basically, I take my coefficients here and my constant at the end, right? And leave a little space there with a little hockey stick. B plus 6, I hope you agree, negative 6 would be the root, right? That would make it a 0. So that's what we're going to use, negative 6. And now the process simply is you bring down the number, you multiply, bring it up here, so that's negative 6. 3 minus 6 is negative 3. You're now going to multiply that with negative 6, 18. 18 minus 23 is negative 5. You multiply it one more time, you get 30. 30 minus 38 is negative 8. And my remainder is negative 8. So take in the guts, as I like to call it. I know this translates to 1b squared minus 3b minus 5. And I'm going to add a negative 8 divided by my divisor, b plus 6. And hopefully I didn't make any silly mistakes, but I'm just going to go with it. Hopefully you're getting this process down, guys. Notice how quicker and easier the math is, right? And the steps are once you master this. So I want you to master synthetic. Okay, pause the video if you need to. So here's number 20. Again, I'm just going to take the coefficients and the constant 6, leave a space for my hockey stick. What makes this a 0 here is 1. So 1 is what I'm going to substitute or synthetically divide with. Let's bring down our negative 4. We're going to multiply those together. Negative 4 goes up there. 9 minus 4 is 5. We're going to multiply these together. We're going to put the 5 up there. Negative 11 and 5 is negative 6. We're going to multiply one more time here. We're going to get a negative 6 here. 6 minus 6 is 0. Oh, so what we actually did find there, guys, was an actual 0 for our problem. Okay? And we're going to talk about roots and zeros in a different video. But anyways, so basically our problem comes down to, I'm going to take the guts right here, is negative 4x squared plus 5x minus 6 plus the remainder of 0, which we don't worry about. Another way to say this, guys, is my answer here in red times x minus 1 would give me what I started with right there. Okay? But again, that's a separate video or separate lesson we will talk about later on. Okay? Pause the video if you need to. Okay, let's do 21. I think I have 22. That's the last one. So on 21, again, instead of writing that whole thing, I'm just going to write down the 1, the 6, the negative 23, the negative 56. Do my space and hockey stick. I know negative 8 makes it 0. So bring down the 1. When I multiply these together, I get negative 8 here. 6 and negative 8 is negative 2. When I multiply those together, I get 16. 16 and negative 23 is negative 7. When I multiply one more time there, I get a 56. Holy tamale, we got another 0. Okay, so what does our guts tell us is that if I take p squared minus 2p minus 7, and I times that with p plus 8, what we divided by, I get back what we started there at the beginning when we were dividing into. Okay? But in our case, our answer is just simply p squared minus 2p minus 7. Pause the video if you need to. Okay, one more time with synthetic. I'm just going to copy down the 6, the negative 47, the 31, the 28. I know 7 makes it 0. I'm going to start by bringing down my first number 6. When I multiply those together, I get 42. 42 and minus 47 is negative 5. When I multiply those together, I get negative 35. 31 minus 35 is negative 4. When I multiply those together, I get negative 28. And what do you know? We got another 0. So taking our guts right here, as I like to call it, I know it's 6x squared minus 5x minus 4. What it also means, again, is if I take this answer, guys, and I times it by what I started dividing by, I get what I was dividing back again. So this is the start of the factored form, in other words, of our original problem. 7, in other words, is a root or a 0, actually, of this beginning polynomial expression or function. Okay? So guys, that ends my video, except if you want to see the same problem done with long division. I'll leave it up to you, but pause the video to make sure you understand how to do synthetic division, also known as synthetic substitution. All right, so it's going to take me a little while to set this up, but I'm going to get going right now. Okay, so guys, what I did was take a few moments, pause the video, and just copy down the problem long division style, like elementary. Let's get going here. So notice the first term is 6x cubed. That means I need a 6x squared times that, you see, to get my 6x cubed. Don't forget to also distribute in times by negative 7. So we get 6x cubed minus 42x squared. When I subtract here, this minus becomes a plus. 6 minus 6 is 0. My x cubes are now gone. 42 minus 47 is 5x squared. I now bring down my 31x. And I start all over again. This time, I want to match up my 5x squared. So I'm going to times by 5x, because 5x times x is 5x squared. Again, don't forget to distribute with a negative 7. So 5x squared minus 35x. When I do my minus, that becomes a plus. 5 minus 5 is 0. My x squared terms are now gone. 31 and 35 is 66. Did I make a mistake somewhere? Hold on a minute, guys. Okay, guys, you know, I could correct this video, but you know what? I'm just going to backtrack here. Did you catch my mistake? As embarrassing as it is for me, I want to, again, make sure you understand that, hey, even I can make silly mistakes if I'm not careful, okay? Especially as tired as I am right now. But anyways, backtracking just a little bit, okay? Here was my mistake, was when I distributed here, right? I did do that correctly. I got 6x cubed minus 42x squared. When I did my subtraction, I again set it up correctly. 6 minus 6 x cubed is 0. So the x cubes are gone again, right? But right here, I made my little mistake. Negative 47 and a 42 is a negative 5x squared. So again, I bring down my 31x. And that was where I made my key mistake, because up here, I now need a negative 5x times x to get minus 5x squared. And again, don't forget to distribute the negative 7. And so we end up with a negative 5x squared plus 35x. See, that made a big difference because now when I minus, that becomes a plus, but this becomes a minus. See, that one little minus, guys, was causing me to really mess up. You can do the same thing if you're not careful. Anyways, 5 minus 5 is 0. 31 minus 35 is minus 4x. I bring down my 28. Almost done. I need to times by a negative 4. That gives me a negative 4x plus 28. As you can see, these are exactly the same. So when I minus, that 4 becomes a plus, the 28 becomes a minus. I get 0 there, I get 0 remainder total there. And so my remainder, I don't even bother to bring up because it's just plus 0 over something, right? So why bother doing that? I have in other words, this divided in perfectly. And notice this matched exactly what I got down here, guys. 6x squared minus 5x minus 4 with a 0 remainder. So pause the video right there if you need to, guys. So the one thing I hope you learn, guys, is these you need to practice. And hopefully I didn't make any other silly mental mistakes, but know that one little silly mental mistake with a negative or minus is going to cost you dearly on these problems, right? So anyways, hopefully you got something out of this video, and I'll see you in class.